24th April 2023, Monday, TWB Awesome Technical Analysis with Cal. This is a brand new look, but the things will be the same. And we want you really to focus because we think that the market is going to go big time soon. Yeah. Now, let's look at the China A50. Oh my goodness, look at it. I've been telling you guys to be very careful with China A50 because I know that some people were calling for buy on this day. And I said that no, be very careful, especially when the next day we saw the market pulling back, engulfing the white candle. And I did say that once the China A50 loses 13,300, this important support level, there could be some selling. And when the market closed below the 200-day and the 30-day moving average, we know that this is going to hit the fence. And truth be told, I mentioned to you that on Friday, the 13,000 closing is really, really suspicious. And today we saw it. The market tried to go above 13,000 to 13,066 in the morning. But after that, the selling that comes in is succumb to the selling, and we can see right now it's still trading lower, and it could be heading towards this 50% Fibonacci mark at 12,796. Okay, so what's happening right now? I don't have the numbers at the moment, but this is not a good sign. So I suspect that there will be more selling in the next 2 days, and I've been telling you this to be very careful, especially this week, because we're going to have a lot of earnings coming up, and we don't want to be caught by the market. So of course, for today, the Dow Jones, I want to show you something very incredible. Let's take a look now at the Dow Jones now. This Dow Jones, this is the doji that was a couple of days ago, then followed by the next day doji, and then the next doji. So it's a triple doji consecutively, right? Usually when you see triple doji like this and the range is pretty big, I like to do extra one more step, is that I'll find the highest point, which is 34,154. The lowest point happened to be 33,748. So now let's do a quick mathematics here. So let me bring in my calculator. Okay, I want to show you live, guys. It's going to be very interesting. Okay, so what you see right now is that I'm going to punch in numbers. 34,154 minus, okay, 33,748. This will give me the range of the market, and that'll be 406. Okay, so that is 406 for you. So the difference between them right now is basically 406. Okay, so which means that usually when there's a consolidation and the market bounce around that, the low end will be like a support level, the upper end like a resistance level. So which means that mathematically speaking, we can actually foresee that 34,154 plus 406. Well, we don't get how much is that? There'll be a 0 at the back, then there'll be a 6 in here, then there'll be 4 and 5, so 560, and that will give you 34,560. So which means that if the Dow Jones to choose to go up instead and break above 34,154, we should see 34,560. Okay, that is the upside limit. Yeah. Now on the downside limit, the low is 33,748, right? Minus 406. I'm doing live right now, guys. So what we will get 33,342. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that means that if the Dow Jones is to go downward instead, the Dow could be heading towards 33,342. Yeah. So why? Because this is the range of the market. So if the market goes up, it'll be this way or this way. Okay. So that is what I will do for my TA mathematically. Now for the if you look at the TWB chart right now, you can see that today the opening price is between the two pivot, 33,869 and 33,646. So pretty simple. If the Dow Jones do break below 33,646, then I believe that it's very good chance to see the Dow coming down to the extension, which is the BNB extension at 33,473, which happened to coincide with the MA30, 33,488. So this will be the first pit stop. Now, anything lower than that itself, right, the market could really go down to 33,342, the number that we mathematically have calculated, because at 90% mark, 33,258 is there, okay? So this is my first view of the Dow Jones potential downside, yeah? But of course, if the Dow Jones recover instead, which I've seen this many times, then the resistance will be 33,869 or the target mark, okay? Now, one thing to note is that the KSI has been red in color, and KSI red in color means that the boys are selling, but the KCX at the bottom is still blank, so which means that the buying interest is still there. So what I'm trying to say is this: when the price goes higher, the boys sells, but when the price goes low, probably the speculators or the opportunists, they'll come in to buy from the bottom, and that explains to you why there are so many long tails recently, because when the KCX is buying, they usually buy from the bottom. Hence, therefore, you see the long tails on the chart. All right. So all these are the way I use TA to derive the market. And of course, if you think about this, it makes pretty good sense, right? So guys, take note of this. It's going to be very, very helpful for you. Yeah. Okay. Now, moving along, we look at the NASDAQ. Now, this is the NASDAQ. I'll show it to you right now, the NASDAQ momentum. Let's take a look. Now, the NASDAQ, basically, you can see that today, the NASDAQ could be heading towards the downside now, which is the fresh chocolate bar this year, and that is about 12,856. Write it down somewhere. 856, so that will be the potential downside. And of course, you can see for the BMV, there's a very strong resistance at the BMV RL. Hence, therefore, with the market opening price so near the pivot 1, that means that the market is going to take this advantage of this number and push it down. Now, the only thing is this: both KSI and KCX are all positive. So that means that as the NASDAQ go lower, there's a chance of buying from the market. And that explains to you why, again, the last few days, all of them had long tail at the bottom, because the momentum and the boys buying are there. Can you see that? This is the reason why you need to have TA like this to let you know exactly what to do. So I'm going to put in the numbers. Downside wise, we can see coming down to 12,849, but do expect the market to rebound somewhere around there, because that is what the charts are saying. Okay. Now that is the NASDAQ. Let's look at S&P 500. Now S&P 500, we did the same thing, and seemingly it's happening right now. The S&P right now, this is the lowest and this is the highest, and it seems that, right, the market is going to hit downwards. Okay, so if you look at this chart, if the market breaks 41.14, all right, you can see very incredible. The last 2 days, the market really hit there and recover. That's how powerful this TA is. So if it's going to continue go down downside, I think we could see 4085 in the near term. But if you're judging from the distance between this area, then most likely we will see the market going for 4050. Okay, so that is the downside for the S&P 500. Upside wise, we should be expecting to go higher to about 4200 if it actually goes up. Yeah. Now the KSI still stay green, KCX is blank, so that means that they'll be buying again at the bottom, and that represents why the last few days the market has pretty long tail. Yeah. Okay, so S&P wise, 4104 is a pivot 2. Expect some support there. Only if the market breaks 4104, then the next number we are quick be looking at is 4051. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. Now for Hang Seng, we can see pretty clear now the market is definitely selling, and it's trying to test pivot 2 right now, 19819. So the market is trying to go below it. If the market goes below that, the first target will go as a fresh chocolate bar, and that could be as low as 19,635. Okay, now breaking the pivot 2, yes indeed, that is where the KCB is, and the MA 200 also happen to be nearby, 19,649. Now both KSI and KCX are calling for sell. That's why today will be a seller day, and now we are seeing the full flash of it. Yeah, so very important to have this indicator with you. Very, very important. And of course, if you look at the Nikkei right now, the Nikkei is also pulling back a little bit, but overall the Nikkei has been pretty positive, because if you look at the chart, it's trying to hold up, and both KSI and KCX are all bullish. So now the downside should be about 28,527. Only when the market breaks below this figure, then we may see some more pullback to the BMB RL level, and that's 28,424. Okay, so that is the Asian market. Let's look at crude oil now. Crude oil, as we've been telling you guys, don't buy crude oil first. Crude oil is still going to go down a little bit more. Now we can see very clearly that this was where it is. All right, this is where the range is for during the period of time. And I did mention to you guys that once the market loses this area here, there will be some selling, and it's happening right now. Now, a lot of traders are looking for it to cover the gap. Okay, there's a lot of people are betting the gap will be covered. Well, to me, it doesn't matter what it covered. It doesn't matter to me as a trader. As long as you're supposed to sell, I will just sell it. Okay, so the thing is this: if you look at my chart right now, the market has came down, broke my BNB support level, and it came down to my extension of $77.10. So since it's been done, I don't want to short further, even though the KSI and the KCX tells me that the bearishness is still around. So to me, is that if you didn't sell this morning, then just leave it alone, because the pivot 2 is 76.12. Now, of course, if there's going to be a recession, usually crude oil will not be moving higher. But we also know that, right, the cost, the reason for the crude oil to gap out was because of the supply cutting in. So unless that we have this problem whereby the supply has cut, but because of recession problem, the crude oil is pulling back down, or then that means that we're going to hit into a very serious recession mode. Yeah, think about this for a moment. Okay, we're done with the commodities. Let's look at the currency right now. Let's start with the dollar yen. Dollar yen is pushing up today, and if this is going to continue, this should move higher. In fact, I was just telling everybody that the dollar won't crash. In fact, it will be going up instead. So US dollar yen 134.698 is possible. 134.698 is very, very possible. And it's going to test the pivot 1 very soon. Today's a DJDD, so it means that if it's above OP, it will be a buy. And if it breaks the pivot 1 and doesn't stop, the next target could be going for 135.37. Now, both KSI and KCX are very bullish, and that's why you can see the last few days since this point here, the market has been moving up. So the beautiful part is this: when people was talking about, hey, market coming down, retracement, and telling you it's selling, but our indicator call for buy, so you should be bottoming buying, and then that's how it's happening right now. Pretty cool, right? This is the difference between conventional and the TWB crazy system. Okay, so we have this dollar yen done. Let's look at the next one is the pound. Pound is trying to struggle. We have a bit of a retracement at the back. Why? Because you can see the KSI is still having a buying interest, but the KCX is actually creeping in. So you still have some buying at the bottom, but the market is fizzing off in terms of strength. For the pound, if it just start to stay downwards, well, pound can actually goes down quite a fair bit. Do you know that? If the pound do go down further, you can see the pound coming down to 1.2333 level. Now, where we are right now is 1.2427, so 100 pips away. KSI is green, but KCX is available. So that means that there will be some buying and selling struggle. That means the market goes sideways for a while, because that is how it is right now from the screen. Yeah. Okay, we're done with that. Let's look at euro. Euro is now pulling back down. Same thing again. If euro continue to go down, it should be able to cover back the chocolate bar 1.09636. All right. KSI is green, no KCX at the bottom. So that means that even though it comes down, do take profit along the way, because usually they'll be buying, and that's represent why the tails are there. Okay, very important. All right, we're done with the currency market. Let's look at the gold and silver. This is gold, and this is telling you very clearly that you don't need to chase after gold first. I know that some people have been buying gold to prevent this, but you must be careful, because gold likely be heading to 1968. That is a fresh chocolate bar over there. And of course, we have multiple KCB, but I think the first one is the 1968, because I believe the US dollar is going to go higher. Now, KSI is green, but KCX is there. So that means that there will be some selling pressure along the way, but just the boys are buying. So only if gold goes up 1986, if not, right, the downside pressure is still there. So 1968 downside pressure is still what I foresee for gold. Okay. And apology for my voice, this is the loudest I can go. So to turn up the volume louder a little bit. Yeah. Now for this is the silver price. Silver has now pulled back, And this is the KCB, and the fresh chocolate bar is here $24.53. So if the market breaks down, I believe that's going to go down $24.53. In fact, the left low that I'd rather be buying will be the $23.97, because that is the next fresh chocolate bar, and I think that will be a pretty decent low level to buy. Now KSI is green, KCX is blank, so that's why we do expect to see some intermittent support later on. There should be some support later on. Okay, that will be clearing the gold and silver. So let's look at the final two, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now for Bitcoin, we can see very clearly that I've been telling you guys to be very careful. I mentioned to you that Bitcoin most likely will see some selling, and it is actually happening right now. So for Bitcoin, at the moment now it's trying to stay above 27,000, but 27,000 is a very strong base and it's a chocolate bar. So I suspect that it will hold, but if it doesn't hold 27,000, the next low can be as low as 25,000. So 27,000 is here, 25,000 is here. So that means that if the market breaks 27,000, a free fall of 25,000 could be really, really possible. Yeah. So again, those people chasing to buy Bitcoin recently at 30,000, probably they may not be that happy in the near term. Yeah. Okay, so for today's TWB chart, right, you can see that it's unstable right now because of the price action. Now we can see that today the pivot one is at 27,249. So only if it breaks below 27,249, then the selling can bring it down. And surprisingly, the range between the two pivot is the same one I just mentioned. If the market really breaks 27,000, wow, the market can really go down to 25,000. And the scary part is both KSI and KCX are all very clear to tell you that the selling will be there. And that's why the last few days, the market has been coming down. So imagine you have something like this in your arsenal, right? I'm pretty sure you do very well in your trading. All right, last one will be Ethereum. Ethereum has pulled back, and again, same thing. We're going to have a lot of this thing to talk about, and I believe that Ethereum will drop all the way to about 1780 level in the near term. All right, that's how I see it or perceive it at the moment, because you can see right now, right? The market is actually utilizing the pivot one at 1775, which is very nearby the numbers, and KSI and KCX are both red and cyan, which means that the market selling pressure is still very strong. So do consider to only look at it later, right? Anything below 1780 can take a try, but the best is 1683. That will give you the very good low level to buy if you want to. All right, that'll be all for today. Thank you very much. This is Cal signing off. Bye-bye.